Operating under the crooked American barber system too long. We are now in session. The Barber Session. The only podcast for barbers by barbers. Keeping you up to date on the latest trends in the industry and how you can go from being a barber to becoming a boss in this here business. You have now found where barbers get down. So slide in the chair, don your cape and prepare. You're going to get lined up on some facts, learn how to shave the shadiness, and get ready to fade up your future. This is Yofonzz saying right on to the real and deaf to the fakers. Peace out.
To another episode of the Barber Session. In today's podcast, we get to go back in time to our early on episode, Up and Coming Barbers, and catch up with one of those barbers that was on that podcast, a very close friend of mine. I've been lucky enough to see his journey as a man, as a barber, and as a content creator on YouTube. This man has some of the most entertaining videos and vlogs on YouTube, and his rise to the top was incredible. It was an incredible journey, and like I said, I was lucky enough to witness it. So without further ado, where have you been, Yofonzz? Welcome to the podcast. All right, guys, as promised, I bring to you Yofonzz. What's going on, Yofonzz? How you been, bro?
Nah, man, I'm good. Just waiting on this next client over here in the shop and networking. How you doing?
I'm doing great, bro. So listen, I wanted to start off this podcast like every other podcast, or like I said I would in the intro, as far as touching base with you. Because you were on the podcast before as an up and coming barber, and there's been a quite a journey in between that time since that last podcast. But I would be wrong if I started it that way. It would be wrong of me to say, let's pick off where we left off and you know, the journey and where you are now, because the people want to know. I want to know, where the hell you been, bro? Where have you been? Where's the channel? What's up? Talk to me.
The channel is still there. You know, just been in the shop cutting hair. Just been in the shop, just putting in work, and I took a little hiatus from the channel, but I'm actually currently finishing a video, which has taken me forever to finish, but I am finishing it.
So a video took you forever. We're all surprised.
I mean, what video hasn't taken me forever?
Exactly. So you're telling us. So you're breaking news right here on the podcast. You're dropping a video soon, because you've taken quite the hiatus, man. People miss you, bro.
Yeah, no, believe me, I miss making videos, and making this video has shown me how long it's been since I made one. It's almost like not going to the gym for a long time and getting back into it, and you realize, holy crap, I'm out of shape. Well, kind of like that.
Welcome back, Fonz. So let's start off then. So the last time we had you on this podcast, you were an up and coming barber with an incredible story. I mean, literally, 72 hours at a time away from home, just wash, rinse, repeat, work, school, never home. And you literally sacrificed a lot to get to the barbershop. What's happened since the barbershop? Like how was it when you got in the barbershop and that sacrifice paid off?
Man, I mean, so I think by the time we did that podcast, that first initial podcast, man, was I already in the shop?
No, you
I don't
weren't.
even remember.
I believe you were in the shop, but just very little. It wasn't more than a couple months.
So, I would say by month 3, I already had taken the challenge or the role of helping Basio with his channel. Mind you, I had no idea how to do it. I just, when you're a new barber, you have no clientele. So you're just sitting or, trying your best to get clientele while you're in the shop, and I was never the type to just sit and be on my phone. I had to do something that was productive. Not saying that, as a barber, you could definitely market yourself on the phone and do some productive stuff, but most of the time, barbers don't do that. They just sit on the phone and entertain themselves. So I didn't want to do that. And I was always constantly shadowing Basio, whether it be cutting hair or, and picking his brain. And obviously, for those that have seen Basio do his thing, he always had a camera by him, trying to record as many videos as we could on a daily basis. And I remember one day he was showing that frustration of being overwhelmed with all the things that he had on his plate, whatever. And I don't know what made me ask him, hey, can I help you? But I did it, and from there I figured out different ways to edit. He taught me a few things, but he was so busy that a lot of things I had to kind of like dedicate my own time to figuring out. And I did. And from there, he liked what I was doing, and he gave me more tasks. And long story short, I started traveling with him.
So in short, so the Fonz that we know today, right?
Yeah.
The Fonz that makes these incredible videos, these incredibly entertaining videos, right? Because me and you go way back and we're friends, but I've told you before, I'm not a fan because you're my friend. I'm a legit fan. Your videos are extremely entertaining, bro. It's like I got to get the popcorn ready when you drop a video. It's like, everybody starts messaging each other in the chat. We have like, Fonz dropped the video. So you weren't always Fonz. You weren't always this incredible filmmaker, right? Or YouTube creator. No. This started out literally, for you young barbers out there, you decided to leverage the time you had while you were marketing yourself as a young barber. At the same time, waiting for clients to come, exactly. You decided to leverage that time and learn something else, or expand what you were working on. I mean, in other words, you didn't just sit around. So you
I think
literally taught yourself how to edit.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna say that I had no idea I was gonna get into YouTube. It's funny. I was just going through some old footage like 2 days ago, and I think I always knew I wanted to do it. I just didn't know how. And, here I saw my friend needing help, and I just kind of like put my own needs or like desires to the side to help him. And in return, I learned the skill set.
And became incredible at it, by the way. So touch a little bit on that, because you helped me with videos. You've helped 360 Jeezy with videos. Clearly, you've helped Basio with videos. What was that like for you? Because I know you just said you wanted to start a YouTube channel before you started editing for Basio, but by editing for Basio, you were able to kind of analyze the situation from the outside in, and you realized quickly,
it was
right?
Like the perfect internship.
Not just internship, but you were able to identify that you didn't want to do what we were doing, right? You created kind of your own lane, right?
Yeah, I agree. I being in the circle that we're in, I came to realize that I wouldn't say not everybody was doing the same thing, but when you have a mentor, you kind of want to go off of what they're doing to learn a little bit quicker. And we all got the opportunity, from Basio. But I feel like there was a time that not a lot of people were kind of pushing boundaries and trying something a little bit different. And after working for him for almost 2 years, like I realized that I wanted to try something different. I didn't know exactly how I was going to do it, but I knew I wanted to do it.
Okay. So why waves?
That actually happened by accident, believe it or not.
Really?
JP, when he was working here, at that time I was rocking, long hair on top, real short on the sides, pretty much like a bald fade on the sides. And one day he was shaping me up, and I told him I wanted kind of like a Johnny Bravo shape up, on the top.
Yeah.
And that means that you have to go real low on from the back of the head, and then curve it up. So he's shaping it up, and then he goes so low on towards the back that I feel it hit the head. The actual scalp.
Oh boy.
But he didn't go it's not like he was shaping it up with just like the no guard. I think he was shaping it up with the number 1 guard. and just to be safe,
Yeah.
And the funny part, so he does that, and I feel my head because I knew he did, he went super short, and I feel my head, and I feel the ripple. So yeah, so I'm thinking, you know what? Just chop it off, Vicky. You already screwed it up. So,
just go with it, bro. Just go with it.
Just go with it. Just chop it off. And from there, I don't know what made me go after it and see what I was gonna do with it. But I thought, I've been rocking the same hairstyle for a while. Let me try something new. I go with it. I should call it Jeezy for just like the most basic information, because he's made so many videos. I just called him straight up and said, "Hey man, tell me exactly what I need," And he said, "Look, you just need a brush, a do-rag, and some decent products. But the biggest thing is just brushing, Fonz, and make sure you cover up." So I followed those instructions, and out of nowhere, one day, I don't know if it was just slow in the shop, I decided to post a video. Mike, that used to work here too, he did the unragging, and I just, I posted. No expectations, I just posted. And out of nowhere, I see that it gains more traction than I've ever gained on the internet. And, I just, it was exciting. I'm not going to lie. When you get that much attention on the internet and you're not used to it, it kind of gets you excited, 'cause, again, it's new. And out of nowhere, I'm just like figuring out or realizing that, hey, maybe there's something here. Let me see what else I could do with it. And that's where I started being recognized for the wave. And the cool thing was that as I looked more into the wave culture, I realized how big it was, but also how I could really have my own creative approach, and nobody really and nobody feel like I was copying anybody, because there's a lot of people in the wave community that copy from others because they don't have their own, they just didn't have any new approach. I knew that I was probably the best editor, hands down. And me, I'm never cocky about this shit. I'm sorry.
Listen. Okay, wait. If the shoe fits, wear it. Okay, if the shoe fits, wear it.
Yeah.
So you posted that video with Mike. The birth of Yofonzz is there. You like to do it differently. You don't like to copy anybody. Some people say that you were kind of disrespectful in the wave game, man. I mean, it was like they one day they're here, one day they're gone. One day you show up with a fro, one day they're back. I mean, what is this sorcery, bro? Like, what's the deal?
I'll tell you what. So when I was still editing for Basio, I would say it was like 4 months before I started doing my own thing. We're trying to figure out how to make some hits and everything. Even though Basio's never been too focused on clout, he's been just always focused on just coming up with the most organic type of content. We did have our moments where we're trying to figure out how to gain more traction. And this is before we met Dean. And he dropped the transformation video, and at that time that transformation video did numbers that I've never seen anybody in the barber game do besides Season.
Mm-hmm.
And out of nowhere it just hit me that I wanted to do a transformation video for Basio, but the problem with Basio is that his clientele at that time, nobody would grow their hair that long.
Yeah, they were week to week, at most every 2 week clients.
Exactly. So I think, honestly, just prior to me getting waves, there was something I was already wanting to do to help his channel out, to give him something new, something fun. So I was growing my hair, and when I got it cut, I chose to, grow it out, but with waves. And one thing about wavers, they're very, they care about their image a lot. So here I am. I've always had this mentality of, observe the masses, do the opposite. And I felt like, okay, if I have waves and I just grow out my hair and look absolutely, just bummed out, that would just be the biggest attraction as far as, I wouldn't say clickbait, but it's the thumbnail.
Of course,
And
your thumbnails are
I didn't know,
phenomenal.
man. I was going with the gut feeling, and because I've never been into like the YouTube analytics and you know the ins and outs. It's more of like a gut. It's always been a gut feeling to me. You know, I just feel like something's right and I go with it. Um, so the whole idea of the transformation videos that I've done, that was just based off, you know, that one video I saw get being due, and I realized, you know, this for barbers, if you want huge traction for your channel, you know, transformation videos, at least at that time, they were just doing huge numbers. And
So,
you know, as an editor,
you took that model with the
yeah,
transformation cuts, you applied it to
yeah.
waving and
Mm-hmm.
barbering. You know, you kind of mix
More of a
both.
waving than barbering. People still barely know that I'm a barber.
But this had to be a crazy commitment, right? I mean, you got, you know, the wife, you're barbering, you got to keep an image. I mean, you were all in then, bro. Because some of the wolf sessions you did, I mean, you went too far.
No, absolutely. I was just having a conversation with some clients earlier today, and how much of like how much it impacts a person's life. Because you know, you ever realize, you know this, you know, you've been a barber for a while. You know, somebody comes in, they get a haircut, and all of a sudden they feel so much better.
Oh, of course, it
So
lifts up
you
your
already know.
spirits.
So
But
it lifts your spirit.
you
So you can only imagine how much you don't, you know, how bad you could feel if you let yourself go for a while.
Of course, I mean, let's not go too far, right? We just saw the movie Joker, right? So
Yeah,
Heath
yeah.
Ledger spoke about it. Jack Nicklaus spoke about it. I'm sure Joaquin Phoenix will speak on it at some point. To get into that role, they had to go to a dark place, right? So for you to accomplish what you wanted to accomplish, you had to go to a pretty dark place. I mean, no
I was
haircut for
definitely
what,
there
3-4
4
months,
times a day.
and then the way you
Yeah,
did it was it was phenomenal, bro. I think the first one was Matt Gifted Hands, right? Matt Gifted Hands did the first Wolf.
and that was the last minute call too.
Wow.
And that was the last minute call. That was a gamble right then. We didn't know that it was going to be successful or not. You know, he gave me a call because there was some last minute changes, and he was like, "Hey, if nobody else is going to cut your hair right now, I'll do it." Because I needed my haircut real bad towards the end. I think I needed to do something for the kids, and obviously I just couldn't look like that. And that was actually the shortest time that I've grown my hair. You know, everything after that was always 4 months or more. Uh, and that was only 3 months for mass transformation.
Wow. And then
But
after
yeah,
that,
so
you
back
went
into
you went to California. Jeezy cut your hair. You went to
I think,
you went to Chicago and Beam did it. I mean, for the
yeah,
love of God, bro, you went to Rome? Didn't you go to Rome and Basio cut your hair too? Like that's
yeah, that was the third transformation video.
crazy. How was it to travel? I mean, so for the people, you know, we started up and coming barber, just in the barbershop, a month in, sitting down because you don't have much clientele, marketing yourself, and at the same time, you don't have much leverage except time. You leverage that time into teaching yourself another skill set as far as editing. You turn into an absolute beast in editing, and because of that, you got to travel everywhere. I mean, you went to what, Romania? Where list them. Where'd you
Yeah,
go?
so you know, when I was working for Barber, that's my first international trip was Romania, but I was shot for Romania, and that was amazing. You know, to be able to take that leap of faith because that one, you know, 245 wasn't, you know, what it is now, and I actually paid for that flight myself. You know, and again, you know, sometimes you just gotta go with your gut feeling, and that was a gut feeling for me that I knew I had to go. And I did it, and man, that was the best decision I made. I got to learn so much. That was one of my first big projects as far as videos, because we're out there for like a week, a little over a week, and I had to make singles. I made 3 parts to Romania. So the travel, what traveling did was it gave me, it forced me to become more creative with my videos. You know, because when you just do, so like tutorials, for example, tutorials are very cookie cutter. You know, it's very simple. You get the raw footage, you chop it up, you throw some generic instrumentals, and you do a voiceover. It's pretty straightforward. With the vlogs, it forces you to be different each time. And because of that, I had to, dedicate way more hours to figuring out how to do that for boxing before I did it for myself. And, I think that's where, like, I started growing my name on the internet. I started really being recognized for that.
I think it's just a phenomenal story, right? I mean, you were able to self-teach yourself how to edit, identify, kind of find yourself, find your style, and then when you dropped your channel, bro, I mean, it was like wildfire. I mean, it just absolutely blew up. What was it? You got to how many subscribers in under 6 months or under a year? It was insane, right?
I mean, right now I'm at 84,000, and that's because I slowed down.
Well, they're slowing down and there's absolutely stopping. You came to a halt, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's next for Fonz? What's on the horizon? What's going on? Are you coming back? The people want to know, man. I want to know. I want to.
I'm coming. I'm definitely coming back. It's just it's not the same focus anymore.
Wait, so you're breaking news? You're breaking news right now.
Yeah, I broke the news on Chris's every haircut challenge.
Well, whatever. You're breaking the news here on the Barber Session again. Okay. Okay. You're breaking news here. We're breaking news. We're breaking news. The waves are gone.
Gone.
Forever.
I don't know if it's forever. I never say forever, but for now.
So what's the style now?
Rocking curls.
Okay. So then, I mean, what can you expect then? If it's no more waiver videos, it's just vlogs. What do we expect?
Definitely want to focus more on vlogs, more of the stuff that I do in the shop. If I end up traveling more, which I'm hoping I do, I'm going to travel more for sure. But yeah, I just want to show that. I want to focus on that because when you're just known for one thing and you do it for too long, that's all that the audience or the following wants from you, and that's where I kind of lost my passion, for videos for a while. It became too repetitive. It's like being in the shop and you do all the same haircuts every single day. It's just not fun anymore,
I got you. So the year's almost over, right? We have another 2 months?
Yeah.
2 months left in this year. We're about to close it out. What are some of your goals for next year? What are you trying to do next year with the channel, personally, professionally, in the barbershop? What's next for Yofonzz?
I just want to be consistent. That's the first one. Have more consistent content. Definitely grow my following. Use my platform to get booked in the shop. Fully, and I'm talking about like 2 weeks in advance. I definitely respect what Bosfield did before he took a step back from the barbershop. Because he definitely got it to that point between just being here first in, first out, the basic information that he puts out, and also using his platform. He let people know that through his tutorials that he was in this location and more people came, and he was able to definitely support his family very well, just off of cutting hair and creating content. So I want to definitely push that. I would like to even educate. I got to do 2 classes already for 245 on social media, and it felt great. My last one was down in I was in Alabama, Birmingham.
This was recent, right?
Yeah, that was the premiere. My first class was actually at Orlando premiere, and then the second one was Alabama. It was fun. I liked it.
Very cool.
And I've always liked traveling, so if I could find ways to take those opportunities to travel and blog and teach and just figure out these different ways of creating content at the same time, and I think I'll be much happier with what I do on YouTube.
Cool. So for those that don't know, can you tell them where they can find you on Instagram and on YouTube? I mean, you should know if you're listening to this podcast, but just in case.
Oh, yeah, Yofonzz. Everything's pretty much Yofonzz. I think that's important
Double Z,
for
right?
those that are trying to build. Yeah, 2 Z's.
Yofonzz with 2 Z's. All right, you want to get into the question part of it? Let's answer some questions of some of these barbers that submitted questions for you.
Sure, both. Shoot.
All right, we got our first one, and that's from our very own Mr. Matt Giftahands. So here we go.
Yo, what's good, Fonz? Your boy Matt Giftahands, and I'm cutting and living out of Tampa, Florida. Headlines Barbershop in the building. Man, my question is, when are you going to come pick up your son's baby do-rag that I bought for him when he was born? No, I'm just playing, bro. Yo, do you think another collab with Jeezy is needed right now for you to get back on track? And if so, make it happen, bro. Because last time y'all made a movie, and I think all your subscribers can say the same thing. But, bro, YouTube needs you back, man. All right, Fonz. Peace.
Appreciate that, Matt.
So, I don't think that's necessarily what's needed for me to create content. I think with me and Jeezy, we're always going to anytime we have an opportunity to collab, we're definitely going to collab. I don't think that there's an expiration date on or a limit on the amount of collaborations we do. You know, the reality is that he lives in California and I live in Tampa, so it's kind of difficult at times. And it can become expensive to collaborate with him, depending on where we're trying to meet. But yeah, no, we're definitely gonna collab. This video I'm doing is kind of to do what everybody else is, doing, answering back with the whole every haircut challenge. That's gonna be my video, so I guess that kind of counts. Even though we're not really like collaborating, but it has to do with Jeezy. So yeah, no, we will collaborate for sure though. I don't know how we're gonna figure it out, but or when, but it will happen. Sure.
Man, Matt ain't lying though, man. That video you guys made was a movie.
Every time we collab, man, we come up with some dope ideas. Working with Jeezy, I don't know, man. We get in the zone and we come up with some dope ideas, and it just works out like that, man. Some people have it like that, man. And mind you, he's been doing it much longer than me. But when you have a passion for creating something, and you work with somebody that has that same type of passion, it just comes naturally. Versus, some people just kind of take longer. But yeah, with Jeezy, definitely. When you work with him, you know how it is.
Oh, absolutely.
The vibe is there, the energy's there. It's all there, man.
Listen. There's very few people that are like Jeezy. I mean, I can one hand, right? Like Basio comes to mind, Danny comes to mind. Jeezy is a machine. To be able, right? Anybody else at this point to be where Jeezy is would have taken a step back or relaxed a little bit, catch your breath. Yeah. The guy consistently drops 3-4 videos a week, every week. Yeah. And I don't think people understand, cookie cutter or not, Fonz, right? No, it is not easy. It is not easy to drop
but
that
then again,
much
if you
content.
do it for that long and you have that much consistency, man, I think it just becomes easy after a while. No different than cutting hair for a long time, and it just becomes second nature.
It does, but you run into some of the same issues that others have had, right? Where it's the same haircut, the same texture, the same client. You know what I mean? So just I respect the man's hustle, bro. Insane. Let's go to the next question.
Yeah.
Having a little technical difficulty here. I apologize. Hold on one second, guys.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Shannon Kraft from Tampa, Florida. Instagram s.craft_blings with a Z. And my question is for Fonz. Fonz, in your opinion, what are the 3 most important things to know when it comes to creating YouTube content, and why? Thank you.
So 3 main things to know when creating YouTube content. You have to find your voice. That takes a lot of time, a lot of trial and error. And when I say finding your voice, I mean, you know better than me how awkward it is to get in front of the camera, especially if you're not used to it.
I clearly I know better than you. It took a long conversation with Jeezy to finally get in front of the camera.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, when it comes to finding your voice, you have to realize that um, it's pretty obvious. If you see content and the person doesn't, when the person's speaking and it doesn't come out naturally, or they don't sound too enthusiastic, you could just tell off the vibe through the screen that the person is not all there. So you have to find your voice. That's one, so you can feel comfortable in front of the camera. Secondly, I mean, it just depends on the approach. For me, I felt like having a little bit of shock value in there works because, unfortunately, on the internet, if you find a way to whether it be through the thumbnail, the title, or the content itself, if there's a little bit of shock value in there, people are more drawn towards it. So for me, that was almost always my approach, just to gain some traction and have a better shot at having a successful channel, because I didn't want to burn out too early and feel like it was going to go nowhere. So I had a little bit of shock value, not too much to the point where you're selling out, but just enough for people to feel a little entertained. And that's another one. You want to keep a balance between, if you're going to be the tutorial barber, find a way to still feel like, make people feel like not only are they learning something, but they feel like they know you. Transparency is another one.
I hope people are taking notes.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just a lot of things that go into it. Going back to like the follow, observe the map and do the opposite. I mean, if you know your market well, why would you do what everybody else is doing? You can learn from other channels. Absolutely. I've learned from many different YouTube channels, but in the end, you have to have your own recipe. And obviously that's going to come from a lot of trial and error. As far as creating content, as a barber, do you think he meant more as a barber? Obviously, because he's a barber, but.
I mean, it's a barber-centric podcast, so you can address it for barbers. But I think people are interested to hear either way. I mean, just creating content for YouTube in general, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to take into consideration too. As a barber, what other aspects? Ask yourself, like, what other aspects of barbering can I add into my content that people might be, happy with seeing? Bacio was one of the first people to really blog when he was first starting his channel off. He was showing those aspects of his life. He was showing his family. You don't have to show your family. You got to ask yourself what you're comfortable with. You don't want to really push yourself either to do something that could jeopardize your relationship with your family. Some families, some families definitely get broken up because of creating content. And I'm not speaking for barbers, but definitely for other content creators. I've seen it. I've heard them, express it on different podcasts. So if your family ends up being jeopardized because of the content you create, then maybe slow it down on that. But yeah, show different aspects of the barbershop. The people you work with, the clients that you interact with from time to time.
I think you're trying to stand out, right? And another thing that Bacio did that everyone else wasn't doing on YouTube at the time was he did unscripted voiceovers. He just kept it transparent. Yeah, you're gonna hear my kids in the background. So what? I have kids. I think that's one thing that he did as well that made him stand out. So stand out, be different,
and there's nothing wrong with
identify what people aren't doing.
I've met people that have done it both. I've done it all. I've met people that are, straight off the cuff like Bacio. I've met people that are a little bit more scripted, and both can be successful. You just gotta find what it is that works for you.
Okay.
And from there, try to experiment with the camera. That's another thing. Experiment with the camera. Get as many different angles. Learn how to edit. Final Cut Pro is what I use. I know that's what you use. iMovie still, right?
I use both iMovie and Final Cut Pro. If I'm doing something that's a little more elaborate, a vlog or something like that, I use Final Cut Pro. If I'm doing a tutorial, I use iMovie just because it's really, cutting. It's simple. It's just quick.
Yeah.
Let's go. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
I was going to the next question. I didn't know if you were done.
No.
Okay. Let's go to the next one.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Jesse Lima. Got a question for my boy Yofonzz. Yofonzz, check it out. So these people listening to these podcasts and stuff, man, they learning, they growing, and they're making their way into this industry just like all of us have. So my question to you is, you came into this industry straight from school, but while you was in school, you would come to me, ask me for questions, you ask for advice. You were dealing with Bossy as well too as a mentor and all of that stuff, and then you came straight out of school and just kind of just blew up and did your thing. So my question is, how was it to put up that real sacrifice with your everyday regular life schedule to switch over to becoming a barber, and not just a regular barber, but also becoming a YouTuber and building yourself up to the point to where you could travel all over the country and even the world with one of the top barbers in this industry? Let these guys know. Peace.
Man, I love Jesse, bro. Jesse's a real dude.
Jesse's awesome, bro. Jesse's amazing.
Yeah,
he mentored me as well.
Amazing.
Definitely, I consider that dude family.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna have to call him. But anyways, it was not easy, man. I mean, I think in that first podcast we did, I expressed, what I had to go through just to get through school. There's always a sacrifice involved, whether it be doing, my 12-hour shifts at the factory and going to school and sleeping in my car. When it came to learning YouTube, man, there was times me and Bossy would stay in the shop. We would work all day and then stay in the shop till like 4 a.m. working on the project, and then still come to work, 4 hours later. It's always going to involve some type of sacrifice. And you have to be willing to not, I miss time with family. I barely made it to any family functions. I would spend money that I was trying to save for the family from my own kids and everything. I would spend it on travel. I would at times not show, like when it came to traveling, it was crazy, man, because in the middle of me learning how to edit, I was still learning how to cut. So it was stressful learning 2 things at once. It was super stressful because, like, for you guys, before you got into YouTube, you were already, like, pretty comfortable with the craft, right?
Yeah, we got to focus on one thing and go all in on one thing. You were focused on 2 things at once.
I did not get that at all. Same thing with Dre. We had to, like, literally, like, put the gas, put the pedal to the metal, pretty much. Like, we had to maximize a little bit of time. Yeah, man. So there were times that I would travel and have to turn out clients or reschedule and, miss out on making money in the shop just so I could make it to an event and be there for Bossio and everything. And obviously when I started my own channel as well, I had to sacrifice time away from the shop, and that's really what it comes down to. And I know Jesse has done that too when it came to, like, all the opportunity he took when it came to either, cutting a celebrity's head or making it to an event. It's always going to be some type of sacrifice that you pretty much are scared to take at times too. So yeah, man, I mean, I would say that it was very difficult the whole way through. There was never a time I felt like, oh man, I got this. It was always stressful. I think the first 2 years was some of the most stressful years I've ever had in my life. But it paid too, man. I seen that it was the first time I ever did something, and I felt like I'm really good at this. There's things that you naturally are good at, and you think you don't even think it's serious. But after like dedicating so many hours to learning how to edit, I realized, hey, people appreciate what I do. I might as well really put more hours into this and figure out how I could be great at it, and I'm still working at it. So a lot of hours, man, a lot of sacrifice.
I think anybody who's successful knows that it takes a certain level of sacrifice, right? family, not getting to watch the games, not getting a lot of you time. It's a sacrifice, man. But I think everybody who's successful as well will tell you that they wouldn't have any other way.
I'll tell you, man. There was even like times I wouldn't even make it to bed. I would pass out on the floor, because I was editing. It's been to this day. So like that.
Isn't there a story about you falling asleep in the shower?
Yeah.
You literally fell asleep in the shower. That's a real thing. Like, no, I mean, we're being transparent, right? You said the first rule of creating content is be transparent. You passed out in the shower, like legitimately. You almost drowned.
Yeah, bro. It's just, long hours. When you do the long hours in the shop and the long hours looking at that screen, it's just like you're out, man. There's times that you don't even know what day it is. It's like that, man. It's like that when you're trying to figure it out and do something with what you're working so hard.
And I think part of the sacrifice as well is, like I said, everybody who's successful will tell you that, like I said, they wouldn't have any other way. I mean, but I think part of it as well is enjoying the journey, right? Like too many of us don't enjoy the journey. You got to enjoy the journey, bro. Because as you were learning, you were traveling and you were going on these shows with Basio. You got to go, to different countries. Like, that's something that I struggle with. We struggle with sometimes, right? That, we have this goal for Tune 45 and headlines. And before you know it, we've surpassed that goal 3 times over, but we're so busy focused on the next goal that we don't enjoy the journey. You have to enjoy the journey. Yeah. And one thing that Danny told me that I will never forget, it will always stick with me. And I say it to my kids now, and I say it to my wife and other people that ask me, that I've mentored. Mm-hmm. Don't wish time away. Like, just do not wish time away. We all find ourselves doing that, right? I can't wait till I finish school. I can't wait till I can edit like Basio. I can't wait till my channel hits 100,000 subscribers. I can't wait till I get that YouTube check. I can't wait till I can cut hair like Perez or Basio. I can't wait. I can't wait till my waves are popping like Fonz's. Enjoy the journey and don't wish time away. Because athletes will tell you, professionals will tell you, some of the best conversations that I have with Basio is reminiscing on the old days. And you remember when we did this, or you remember when we were here, or you remember when Tune 45 just started. Do you remember that first Orlando premiere show? Do you remember that first show, Fonz?
I remember. I still have the footage.
That's crazy. So,
I have footage that you guys probably forgot about.
Well, that kind of
document.
As if it was planned, right? Like we're in the same room. That kind of lines up with the next question. But if you take anything away from this, guys, from this podcast, don't wish time away. I thought it was real important to bring Fonz back on, right? Because you inspired me, bro. You inspired a lot of people. Your story was intense. Like your sacrifice was real, bro. You would spend days away from home because it was work and school, school and work. And I think that it's paid off for you in a big way. But that lines up the next question.
Hey, what's up, Fonz? Chris. This is Chris Loco, calling from the great place of Tampa, Florida. Quick question for you, Fonz. Now that you got all this footage over the years from Basio, Jeezy, yourself, the Toon Squad, and being the genius that you are, can we look forward to a Yofonzz short movie? Like an hour flick that you can make with the whole squad and something dope with your creative mind? Let me know, bro.
Peace. An hour movie. That would be epic.
Fonz, are you going to make a movie? Are you making a movie, Fonz?
That's stressful right now. that just stressed me out.
Just thinking about that stress you out.
An hour movie? Holy crap. Can you imagine how much hours of content I'll have to go through just to make one?
That's not what me and Loco are seeing, though, and that's not what your subscribers are seeing. We're just thinking an hour Fonz movie? Hell yeah. I'm down for that. Sign me up.
Yikes. Holy crap! Yeah, that was intense, bro.
So
an hour. That would be like months of content.
You just said you have content that we forgot about. I'm just saying, like I told you that the next question lined up perfect.
Yeah, no, you did that.
So you I mean, you got to answer the question, Fonz.
No, I could definitely. That's a challenge I'm willing to take. It ain't gonna happen right now, but I'm definitely willing to take it.
Yeah, no, we got to dip your toe back in the water first.
Well, first of all, we don't have to wait a few more years to make it more worthwhile. I think if we wait a few more years, it'll hit harder if I do it anytime soon. Because there's nothing better than nostalgia.
Of course.
To feel, like, holy crap, how much that was almost 10 years ago. Holy crap, Like, did you ever see? I don't know if you're familiar with like Quincy Jones, but he dropped this documentary on Netflix. And Quincy, man, I mean, that guy was making music in the freaking 50s. So I'm not saying we're gonna wait 50 years. But
everybody just collectively held their breath. 15 years. Hold up, Fonz. We didn't sign up for this.
Nah, but I would definitely wait a few more years for it to hit up.
Of course.
No.
Really,
if you do it more than once, it's not gonna really be as good. You gotta wait a little bit, but I would do that. That would be cool. I gotta make some moves, man, to have the time to do that. But if I have the time, when I have the time, yeah, Loco, I'll definitely do it. That'll be cool. I never thought about it.
There you go, Loco.
An hour flick.
Okay, so. Bro, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast. Like I said, I thought it was important for people to revisit this, you know what I mean? Because when you first came on as an up-and-coming barber, you weren't Yofonzz, you were Alfonso.
Yeah.
Now you're Yofonzz. So the journey's been awesome. It's been incredibly satisfying, fulfilling, whatever you want to call it, to see your development, you know what I mean? To see from where you started to where you are now. If you want to leave the audience with something, what would that be? Whether that would be advice, some sort of motivation. What do you want to leave your subscribers and the listeners to this podcast with?
Follow your gut, man. Follow your gut. That feeling you get. Because when you start manifesting it, some people are gonna disagree with it.
Whoa.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Hello. Give me a second. My AirPod died. We've been on this podcast way too long.
I am not editing this, by the way, guys. It is.
You're not editing this?
Nope.
Crap.
It is staying just like this. Fonz's AirPods died.
Wait for it. Hold up.
Almost.
The thing, this podcast is almost over. It's killing my battery life. Hold up. Hold up. Come on. Give me a second.
Okay, I might have to edit this, Fonz.
Man,
come on.
I was about to really finish this with a bang. Hold up.
Yep, I'm definitely gonna have to edit this.
Alright, sure. I'll just put the phone onto my ear. So anyway, yeah. So like, follow your gut, because some people are afraid to try new things, and for me it was weird, to do the things that I did. And there was times that not only people but yourself, you're gonna have those thoughts, those doubts, and you gotta fight through that, man. You gotta fight through that and be willing to be the better version of you, even though even at that moment you might not think that of yourself. You have to push through that. So if you're willing to push through that and manifest your greatness, great things can happen. So yeah, don't be afraid to do that.
That's great advice. That is great advice. Well, guys, it's been an awesome episode. I'm so glad you were able to find the time to come on, Fonz. As most of you can hear the background noise, my man is in the shop right now cutting hair as he's doing this interview. So we definitely appreciate your time.
Not only
Fonz.
am I cutting hair, I'm cutting one of my most difficult haircuts.
Wow. And on the podcast at the same time. Man of many gifts.
Yeah, exactly.
The man of many gifts. But I want to thank you for your time, Fonz.
No problem.
Again, as always, guys, if you want to hear your voice on this podcast, make sure you call 813-602-1182. State your name, state what state you're calling from, your Instagram, and then let us know what you want, your question, your statement, whatever it is. Interact with your favorite barbers here on The Barber Session. As always, appreciate your time, and we will see you guys on the next one.